Hello, fellas and ladies. It is time to review Maria, the latest film from Pablo Larraín, and I suppose the final film in this trilogy that explores historical women and the tragedies that they endured. And this film follows the renowned French opera singer Maria Callas in the final week of her life as she takes, stock of everything that has happened to her. Like I said, this is a part of Pablo Larraín's exploration of historical women after Jackie, a film about Jackie Kennedy, and then Spencer, a film about Princess Diana. Both, in my opinion, excellent films. And it does not please me to say that this is easily the weakest of Larraín's trilogy. I don't think this movie's bad, necessarily. From a technical standpoint, the film is just remarkable, especially its cinematography. I know this is kind of a cliched thing to say, but the cinematography is very picturesque. It really does feel like a bunch of paintings. The lighting of the film is just perfect. The framing is excellent. The use of black and white and color, depending on where we are in Maria Callas' life, is excellent. It doesn't feel gimmicky at all in any way. It feels very purposeful in a way of approaching Maria Callas. Sound work was great. I think it's, generally well edited, I would say. The use of Maria Callas' actual music, even though in some moments could be a little overbearing, I actually thought was really effective. I mean, Maria Callas I don't really care a fuck about Maria Callas, if I'm being honest, until this movie came out, and I never listened to her music, because why the fuck would I listen to opera? But, really good music, and it worked really well here. Costume work is really effective. A lot of the stuff really sticks out to you. Pablo Larraín just knows how to direct a movie, and it shows here. I didn't love El Conde, but again, a very excellently well-made film. I think obviously the biggest thing that going for this movie is Angelina Jolie. This is her best performance, and I can't even imagine how long. She is truly excellent here. She gives Maria Callas another level of depth that even when the script was lacking, she came in and elevated this character. It's clear to me that she really cared about Maria Callas. I mean, it's very obvious to me that it was there was some lip syncing going on. Now it's obvious. That's fine. That's totally fine. Not every actor is also supposed to be a world-renowned fucking opera singer. But she really did kill it in this movie. Do I like her more than Stewart and Portman? Not necessarily. I think those had another levels of layers where that Jolie just wasn't given the opportunity to give her that. I just don't think this script is as layered and as challenging as those movies were, and that really didn't give Jolie that much more to work with, but she definitely did a lot of heavy lifting. I also want to give shout out to the two performances of Pier Francesco Favino and Alba Rohrwacher. If I'm mispronouncing your name, I apologize. You both were excellent and gave this movie another level of authenticity. And I'm not going to admit I had no emotional investment. There was definitely things that caught me. But overall, this movie just was really simple. And I do wonder how much of that is because I'm, comparing it to Spencer and Jackie, two incredibly challenging works of art. But the problem is this film is definitely trying to fall in the heels of those two films, and in the end it just kind of felt much more simplistic than the other two films. The example I can give is Spencer is not an obvious film. A lot of people think about how the film was challenging in terms of its inaccessibility in its presentation. That is definitely true, and that isn't as true here with Maria, but Spencer was more of a challenging portrait of Princess Diana. Whereas this film, I feel like there's too much of not a victim narrative with her, per se. I think this problem is this movie had its idea of they don't like her, they just like her voice, but also she needs to find her voice. It's pretty obvious what it was trying to do, and the ending was inevitable. I don't mean her dying. They spell that out for you in the opening scene, that she's gonna fucking die. But her whole, she found her voice, she got it. I do think that the movie kind of just made that point very early on, kind of laid out the steps to how it's gonna end, to how she's gonna get to this point, and then it just spun its wheels. There's a couple creative choices that just kind of felt very empty because of this. Definitely gave a little more emphasis to how theatric the dialogue was. There'll be some lines that are straight up out of plays, which you can be oh, maybe that's intentional, and I believe that to an extent, but it just becomes very apparent, very in your face. And there's nothing wrong with a movie having a very clear thesis throughout. It's just this film didn't really have much to add once the thesis was made, and this movie's just over 2 hours long. There is something with the press that I thought was pretty bad. She has this thing with Cody Smith-McPhee's character that I didn't really like. But this movie also doesn't have the benefit that, like, you know, Jackie and Spencer did, in that, like, we kind of know a lot about Jackie Kennedy, and we really know a lot about Princess Diana. Maria Callas just isn't as well known, and I feel like they missed an opportunity to really go after this woman and see, like, what, like, she was like and what she accomplished more. And I got a general idea once the movie was over, but I feel like the movie was very focused on the one thing it wanted to do. And what you're left is with an incredible looking, kind of stagnant film. It's not really challenging any perception in the way that Jackie and Spencer did. It's more just, if anything, if you know who she is, if anything, it's reaffirming, like, any, you know, conceit you had. I don't really think this movie's an empty film per se. I think it is sincere. It just kind of didn't really hit the landing of its sincerity. So Maria is an excellently made film anchored by an outstanding performance from Angelina Jolie. The film's attempt at emotional devastation feels hurt by the writing. Its main point is made clear very quickly, and the rest of the film feels like the wheels are just spinning till its inevitable conclusion. And I'm going to go ahead and give Maria 6 Angelinas out of 10. Oscars are pretty obvious. It's not getting a picture. Angelina's gonna get in. Like, she does everything she has to do. She's got it. For cinematography, I did kind of go away thinking, well, of course, they're gonna nominate that. Costumes, not as certain, but, like, it's definitely on the table. I think that's its limit, is those 3. Don't really have much else to say about Maria in terms of awards. If this review seems a little rushed, it's because the film doesn't offer that much for me to dissect. Like, subscribe, and share. Now, for me to go on my journey to find my voice before I, die next week.